let me just address this briefly. We will discuss the seeming meltdown that Tim Pool seems to be having. I think it's public knowledge, or largely, that Tim invited me on to his show for November 1st. That involves some travel. Anybody who knows me knows I don't like to travel. Anybody who knows me knows that I would rather not travel before the election. Anybody who knows me knows I've been traveling more than I like to. I went down to New Orleans for a radio conference a couple of weeks ago. I went to Vegas. I had to go to Worcester for, the Jewish high holidays.
So you hit the three big party capitals of America: New Orleans, Las Vegas, and Worcester.
Worcester just was exhausting. Everything else was fine. But we got this offer, and he's down in West Virginia. I don't think that's a secret. I think people know that. And so the idea is you fly down the night before, and then they go in because it's a 10 o'clock in the morning show. And so, I agreed to do it. And then I realized, oh, shit. The night before is October 31st, which is, at least in New York, Halloween. And I have an 11-year-old son. I've probably got 2 more Halloweens before I am booted for good, and that's it. My kids are not going to allow me to be around Halloween. I'm not a huge Halloween person.
Halloween doesn't really start until the parents stay home and you get to go around with your friends.
Exactly. And so that's close. So, I'm not going to miss Halloween with my kids. So I am scheduled to fly out of New York at 6 a.m. So I've got to wake up at I don't know what time you got to get to the airport. Even 5:15 is, a little bit dicey getting to the airport. I got to wake up at 4 in the morning or something. So
to go talk to Tim Pool.
To go talk to Tim Pool. And, it's an obligation. This is not something that I'm particularly looking forward to. I don't care, frankly.
About the ideas?
About the ideas or whatever it is. And then, so over the past 2 days, Tim has been having some type of nervous breakdown or something. And, as far as I know, I'm still doing his show. It's Friday morning. He keeps saying about, it's unclear to me from what he's talking about, whether, play the other one first. Yeah, it's a compilation that somebody put to music. Tim Cost, which is a great way to really get your Tim Pool fix.
Yeah, you don't have to give any views to Tim or anything.
Right. Now, is this music, is it, do you think it's,
That's a good question.
No. Let's play a little bit of it. I mean, and we'll.
I'll speed it up.
Yeah, speed it up a little bit. We always put an audio filter on anyways whenever we talk about Tim Pool. But here he is complaining. He's saying that he's got lazy employees and he can't handle it anymore or something.
We've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that the show is over. But I think this might be the end. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage. I would never call out anybody personally or individually. I would just say that compounding, laziness.
Yeah. Okay. Now pause it for a second because I don't want that music to bang it. So now, when you cancel a show, what is if I was to tell you folks that I was canceling the show, would you guys think, oh, you're obviously canceling the show because of financial reasons? No. Like, I've been doing the show for 10, 15 years. Why would I all of a sudden be having financial problems, and that's why I canceled the show? It doesn't make any sense. But Tim wanted to address that very early on because he didn't want people to feel like it's because they're doing really well. I just think that's strange. But, you know, Tim is a strange guy. Maybe he's just nervous. He wants people to know that he's doing fine. He's not worried. I mean, I can tell you that, like, we're a pretty lazy operation here. And
what?
And when, you know, we have times where we have more members than others. There's times where we have more advertising than others. There's times that we have more viewers than others. And there's times where, you know, like, I'm like, I can't believe we're doing great. And there are other times where I'm like, whoa, if this keeps up, what are we going to do going forward? You know, but the idea that you would close down because of finances is weird to me. And I think, like, you get annoyed with people being lazy when it's not when your revenue is going gangbusters. Hey guys, we're doing 20% over what we did last year. Stop being so lazy.
Less time at the skate park.
It's just weird. It's just it's weird. Continue for a second.
Overtime, which adds more and more workload to, you know, me and Allison, to get to the point where we're just like, can't do it. We do really well, and you know, it just
Hey,
the
say that
problem
again.
is,
We do really well.
without a proper CEO who isn't hosting the show, it's not possible.
Okay, now
Like, I think we
stop
have,
it
like,
for a second. It's funny because when was Emma on this program? When did Emma do Tim Pool?
About a year ago, I think.
Yeah. Didn't Tim Pool say, you guys are bad businessmen?
You need you need to hire a CFO.
Is that what he said? We need to hire a CFO?
CFO, yeah.
He knows all the letters. You know, I'm not going to question it. So this is 2 nights ago where I couldn't quite make out, like, you know, I even watched like a longer clip and I couldn't understand, like, wait, are you quitting? It wasn't clear. And so this is what he came back with last night, I guess.
all the stress has come to a head, we finally make the decision, maybe we should just take care of ourselves and stop pushing as hard as we can to the point where our heads are going to explode and our eyes pop out of our heads.
Pause it for a second.
And
Now, have we established who the we is here? Is he talking about him, or is he referring to himself in the royal we, or is he talking about somebody else?
He mentioned that, was it Allison or something? I assume that's who he's talking about when he's talking about these discussions, but maybe he means him and the whole staff. I'm not sure.
Or he just means like the royal we, like he doesn't want to say I, like he doesn't want to own it.
The C-suite with him and...
Right, he doesn't want to own it personally, so we say we. I mean, I'm just, this is all speculation on my part. I have absolutely no idea what's going on here.
All the stress has come to a head, we finally make the decision, maybe we should just take care of ourselves and stop pushing as hard as we can to the point where our heads are going to explode and our eyes pop out of our heads. And that's what happens yesterday when we're at a point where I don't want to put my family at risk. And there's limited things I'm willing to say because of the psychopaths who threaten us every single day and the very serious threats that we do receive almost every single day. But as I mentioned,
pause it for a second. Is he implying that he has a secret family? Is he talking about his extended family that's at risk? Or is he like has a secret, partner and child?
I don't think that's the case because he would make that public if he was, well, as we can see, that's what...
But that's the thing is I can't tell. Like, are you trying to shield your secret family or are you trying to reveal that you have a secret family?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird. Also, given that a few members of his family are in our chat occasionally.
Well, I feel like we have more contact with the members of his family than he does, maybe. But maybe there's other parts of the family that we're not clear on.
who threaten us every single day, and the very serious threats that we do receive almost every single day. But as I mentioned, we've talked about it. We worked through as much as we can, and I think largely due to the response from our loyal fans, members, viewers, and and some friends and family, we'll make it work to the best of our abilities. So with that being said, it's kind of the weirdest way to announce that I'm pursuing, my family life to the best of my abilities. And I will stress too, one of the most frustrating things about...
Does this make sense to anybody? This is completely, he is announcing that he has a family.
I believe this is maybe a very strange way of announcing a pregnancy. That's what at least our chat is saying. I think that's what's happening here. But it is a very weird way of saying, yeah, I'm stepping back from my...
There's a simpler way of saying this. I have a relationship that you folks aren't aware of, and it requires my attention. And therefore, I am stepping back. But it's unclear to me what he's stepping back from.
And that's still speculation, I'll just say.
Yeah, it's unclear. Like well, keep listening. If anybody can figure this out, I don't know, maybe a Tim Pool listener can figure it out because maybe there's some frequency that I'm not picking up on.
I think largely due to the response from our loyal fans, members, viewers, and and some friends and family, we'll make it work to the best of our abilities. So with that being said, it's kind of the weirdest way to announce that I'm pursuing, my family life to the best of my abilities. And I will stress too, one of the most frustrating things about comments, for instance, I know not to read the comments. I know that half of them are just stupid and half of them are great, but it really does sting when for the past several years there are people saying, haha, Tim, you don't have any children, why aren't you married? And the reality is because I'm sacrificing to try and make this work and produce something that I think is valuable to people. And it comes to a point where I said, why should I, when I should just do what any good man would do and have my family? Well, we'll try to do it all.
Pause it for 1 second. Wait. Okay. So there he's saying, it really hurt when you said I didn't have a girlfriend and I don't have a child. And you never appreciated the fact that I had foregone these things because of you. But wasn't there a clip of him saying like he can't find a girlfriend because it's like everybody else is the problem?
It's everybody else's problem. He also has a regular habit of doing content about women who put their career ahead of being parents, and I think it's probably harder to get those videos off when he's apparently doing the exact same thing.
Right. Well, but for the guy, it's okay. But it sounds like he has decided to step back from his show because he wants to impregnate somebody, or I'm unclear. I'm unclear. He's not being clear about this.
He's going to the best of his abilities.
To the best of his ability, he's going to pursue a family. Maybe somebody else's. Maybe. Or maybe, like you're right. Maybe he is impregnated somebody, or is overseeing the impregnation of someone or whatnot, and doesn't want to do it. I mean, I can tell you that, like, yes, it's I was about his age, I think, when I had my first child. I mean, I didn't bear the child. My ex-wife did, and yeah, it's tiring. It's very tiring. Kids are exhausting.
And there's not a whole lot Tim can let the quality slip on his videos.
Right. I mean, he's working on razor thin margins. But go back just a tiny bit, because then he says he's going to. It's unclear. He sort of like vacillates back and forth. I'm stepping back. I'm not doing anything except for we're going to make it work. Right. And I don't understand what this means.
Way to announce that I'm pursuing, my family life to the best of my abilities. And I will stress too, one of the most frustrating things about, comments, for instance, I know not to read the comments. I know that half of them are just stupid and half of them are great, but it really does sting when for the past several years there are people saying, haha, Tim, you don't have any children, why aren't you married? And the reality is because I'm sacrificing to try and make this work and produce something that I think is valuable to people. And it comes to a point where I said, why should I, when I should just do what any good man would do and have my family? Well, we'll try to do it all. So that is the big announcement.
We're gonna try and do it all. What does that mean?
We will do what we can to make this show continue functioning and working. It may mean that we won't have guests on Friday, but Fridays will be crew shows where members.
Now, wait a second. See, this is. I have to be honest with everybody. I don't care about what Tim's going through, but I want to know. Am I going to have to wake up at 4 a.m. or not on that Friday?
Or can you?
Because he just says no Friday guests.
The clutch flake, I think, Tim, if you want a flake on it.
Now, I don't have the contact information for anybody at his show. And Bradley is been gone during all of this. And so I don't know what the situation is. Now, I've got plenty of time to prepare, for waking up at that time. Because I can go to, it's not like I have to go to sleep now so that I'm rested for a week and a half from now. Although at my age, that's one of the things you got to start doing. You got to start shaving off a half hour every night. And then so you're well rested. But I got to start hitting the gym so that I'm I've got 8 days to get in shape. So that I have the physical stamina for something like that. But that's the thing that I find absolutely mystifying. Now, I should also say, for those people who are saying that Tim is quitting to avoid talking to me, I still think this is happening. I don't see how they would cancel. I mean, it's one thing you can't cancel the people you've already booked. So. I think I'm still heading down there.
I'd be the last guest.
I could be the last guest that Tim ever has on his show. So I just want to, say I don't think that it's.
What if you get down there and Tim's not even in the studio? It's just his
it's just Ian
lackeys talking to you.
And this show is live, is my understanding. So it's live at 10 a.m. Eastern, a week from Friday. And so people will be able to live stream it. And then you guys will be here because I won't be able to get back in time. Because it's got to take a flight and then, West Virginia or wherever it is and drive and fly and all that. So people will watch it live. Like I say, it's a week from Friday. But I have to say, I think this is what my prediction is. This is, keep playing and then or my assessment of all this.
I do it all. So that is the big announcement, and we will do what we can to make this show continue functioning and working. It may mean that we won't have guests on Friday, but Fridays will be crew shows where members, Timcast crew members and other people will join the show as our guest. Maybe some people will join as guests who are locals and live nearby, but there will be some reduction, but the show will continue. With that being said, the reason I decided to make the announcement, knowing that there will be security ramifications, is because I feel like I owe it to all of you who watch the show, the millions who have supported all of the content that I've produced and allowed me to live this life. It's not fair just to abruptly shut it down, disappear, and then go and live my own life. I think there's a way we can try and make it work.
I just don't understand. Is he shutting it? Is he ending the show, or is he trying to make it work? I don't understand what's going on here. This seems like a total emotional and mental breakdown. Now,
right.
There's competing theories here. One theory is that Tim was making all this millions of dollars from Gerard Depardieu, or whatever that guy's name was. Who is it? It was like Mr. Bertrand or something. I can't, whatever. The fake French guy or fake Belgium guy who was actually a Russian front. And Tim, I think he said, he's not a CEO. Maybe he expanded. He got all this money and he thought this money's just pouring in. And I'm going to always get this money from Mr. Depardieu because he's so wealthy.
Edward Gregorian.
I like mine better, actually. Well, yeah, because it's like you're much more intimidated. Like, I don't speak French. I would never be able to talk to Mr. Depardieu. But Gregorian sounds like accessible.
Sounds Gorka.
Yeah. Anyways, the point is that one theory that people have is that he expanded his operation and increased his operating costs to an extent that he actually needed this advertising money, or I should say this Russian advertising money. And he needed this money coming in to, and when it dried up, it became a problem. There are other people who say that may be true, but in addition, Tim is being sued for defamation. We've heard about at least one or two of these suits, as far as I know. And maybe he needs to pull back on the operation to save money for what could be an award or some type of negotiated settlement. Needs to cut down things because he's not making the margins that he wants. And so in the end, it's like it's just easier for him to bank the money that he would be expending. And, he has to lay off all these people. Now, I have a third theory that both those two theories are true and that this is a stunt. That this is just like a way in which he's driving clicks, because otherwise it just sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think this is fake, because come clean. Like, what is it? Like, what's the big deal? Okay, you know what? I have a kid, and or I may have a kid. I mean, like, for security issues, then don't mention that you have a kid. Just say, like, I need to pull back for my own, mental health.
I've been doing this for a decade daily.
Hey, when Saul was born, when I had my second kid, I had old Matt and Michael take over the show on Mondays. And then, it's like what turned into an extended paternity leave for close to, when was my son born? For close to like 11 years. And so, you can do that too. It's just, that's why I think this is a joke. I do think probably, though, there is financial problems that he's having. It's because it's just weird to keep saying this is not about finances. Why would it be? I mean, you step back because you don't need the money, not because you're losing the money, unless you're shutting stuff down because you've just made some bad business decisions. Target did this when they made some bad decisions on where to locate some of their stores, and then they pretended it's too much crime in these areas, and so we've got to shut them down, even though there were successful stores in higher crime areas. They just made some bad decisions, and sometimes they use it as cover. But I think this is just a joke and a way of ginning up clicks.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, is how can I use this to get attention? So that's why he's hammered on it consecutive days.
I think so, yeah. But
so don't cancel that ticket yet.
Well, I don't even have the ticket. They're buying the ticket.
Oh, right.
Oh, I'm not going to pay to go down there.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
No. I mean, I've got to pay for a gym membership for the next week and a half so that I can get enough physical stamina to wake up that early. I haven't woke up that early since I was a kid and like went fishing or something. All right, folks. Just to remind you, this show relies on its members to keep on keeping on. You can become a member at jointhemajority.report.com. When you do, you not only get the free show, free of commercials, but you also get the fun half. Matt.
Yeah, before I plug Left Reckoning, I just want to shout out to St. Jimmy with a new theory on Tim Pool that says like he's coming back in 6 months with a head full of hair. He's going to Turkey. All of a sudden he's not wearing the beanie anymore. He's just got a very luscious mane.
Now that we've started the show again, I think I can.
I left Reckoning last night.
That would be awesome.
He's so funny. Just a thick head of hair. Straight from Turkey.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.